Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, so today we're diving into a topic many of you have asked about: natural approaches to managing ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. We'll be looking beyond the sort of traditional medications to understand how nutritional supplements might play a significant role.
Right. And what really stands out to me here is this growing interest in a truly holistic approach.
Yeah.
Medications like Adderall, Ritalin, they're common. They work for many, but they don't work for everyone. And they can often bring unwanted side effects.
Oh, yeah. Things like sleep problem.
Exactly. Sleep problems, appetite suppression, sometimes mood changes. So this deep dive is really all about exploring how certain vitamins, minerals, and natural compounds can support brain function, maybe improve attention, and help reduce impulsivity.
Yeah. Our mission for you today is basically to cut through all the noise, all the conflicting information out there, and provide a clear, evidence-based guide to some of the most effective supplements for ADHD. We'll explain why they seem to work, what the latest studies are saying, and crucially, how to use them safely, either as a useful tool alongside medication, perhaps, or even as a standalone support for some. And just for clarity, we're talking about ADHD as the current main diagnosis. It covers what maybe people used to call ADD, the more inattentive type, but fundamentally it's a neurodevelopmental condition.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, ADHD essentially impacts your brain's executive suite. That's the part responsible for planning, organizing, keeping you on task.
Managing emotions, too.
Managing emotions, and controlling impulses. So when these executive functions aren't running quite smoothly, it's kind of like trying to run a complex project without a clear project manager. You might find yourself struggling with attention, focus, holding information in your working memory.
Right, remembering things step by step.
Exactly. Making plans, regulating feelings, and just stopping those quick impulsive reactions.
So considering the brain's incredible demands you mentioned, it uses so much energy. How does nutrition actually tie into these functions? What kind of fuel are we talking about?
That's a really crucial question. Our brain is just incredibly energy demanding. It burns through about 20% of our daily calories, even though it's only, 2% of our body weight?
Wow, yeah.
So to perform well, it absolutely depends on a steady, diverse supply of nutrients. Vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, amino acids, the works. So the key question is, what happens when these crucial nutrients are missing or low? Research has actually linked several common deficiencies to, significant challenges with attention, mood, and self-regulation, for instance.
Okay.
Iron deficiency, this can reduce dopamine activity. Dopamine is one of those key neurotransmitters.
Your brain's messengers, right?
Exactly, like chemical emails telling different brain parts what to do. Low iron can lead to problems with focus and motivation. Then there's zinc deficiency. That disrupts the delicate neurotransmitter balance too, potentially worsening impulsivity and inattention.
Okay.
Magnesium deficiency. That often contributes to irritability, maybe restlessness, anxiety, certainly poor sleep quality.
I hear a lot about magnesium for sleep.
Yes, it's very connected. And finally, low omega-3 fatty acids. They can weaken brain cell communication, sort of like having a bad phone signal, making it harder to concentrate and process information.
So the real insight here seems to be that for many, maybe ADHD isn't just about a broken brain, but sometimes a brain that's just not getting the right fuel mix.
That's a great way to put it.
So while a balanced diet, rich in whole foods is always the foundation, it sounds like targeted supplements could potentially bridge these gaps when diet alone isn't quite cutting it.
Precisely. It's about filling in those specific nutritional blanks.
Right. Okay, let's dive into some specific supplements now, starting with a really foundational one, omega-3 fatty acids. These fats, especially EPA and DHA, I understand they're critical for, the structure of brain cells.
Exactly. They form part of the brain's cell membranes. Think of it like making the cell walls more flexible and responsive. This improves the communication between nerve cells, making the whole signaling process much more efficient.
Like upgrading the brain's internal wiring?
Kind of, yeah. And what's fascinating here is how EPA and DHA each contribute slightly differently. EPA seems stronger for regulating mood and reducing impulsive behavior. DHA seems more important for maintaining the brain's structure and supporting long-term cognitive development.
Okay, different roles but work together.
Right. And together, they also support those vital neurotransmitters we mentioned, like dopamine and serotonin key for attention and mood. Plus, they help reduce brain inflammation, which can definitely worsen ADHD symptoms. And there's evidence they enhance memory, learning, and sustained attention, too.
That's pretty compelling. What does the latest research specifically show for ADHD?
Well, the evidence is certainly growing. Studies pretty consistently show that individuals with ADHD tend to have lower levels of these essential fatty acids compared to people without the condition. And a major review back in 2018, a meta-analysis looking at lots of studies together, it concluded that fish oil supplements, especially those rich in EPA, led to, quote, modest but clinically meaningful improvements in attention, impulse control, and behavior regulation.
Modest but meaningful, so real-world effects.
Exactly. It suggests it's not a magic bullet, but it can make a noticeable difference. The data really does seem to solidify their role.
So if someone's just starting to explore supplements, would you say omega-3s are often a good foundational first step to consider, given how broadly they seem to work?
Absolutely. I think for many, they're a powerful starting point. Now, when choosing an omega-3 supplement, quality and composition really matter.
How so?
Well, you want to look for products with a high EPA to DHA ratio. Ideally, something like 3:1, because EPA seems particularly effective for ADHD symptoms. And crucially, make sure they're rigorously tested and certified, free of contaminants like mercury and PCBs. You don't want unwanted extras.
Good point. And dosage?
It varies. For children, usually somewhere between 500 to 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily is beneficial. For adults, it might be higher, maybe between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams. But, and this is important, always best to consult a healthcare professional for exact needs. It really depends on the individual.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, so from foundational fats, let's shift to some crucial minerals. The brain's sort of internal support system. Let's start with zinc. We hear about it for colds, but it's also essential for producing and regulating dopamine, right? That key neurotransmitter for motivation focus.
Exactly. And it's quite noteworthy that low zinc levels are pretty commonly observed in children with ADHD. And these low levels are linked to increased hyperactivity and impulsivity.
And studies back this up. Supplementation helps.
Yes. Clinical studies do suggest zinc supplementation can improve attention and behavior, particularly when it's combined with other treatments. But a critical piece of safety advice here: zinc is best taken with food. It can cause stomach upset otherwise. And because too much zinc can interfere with copper absorption, it really should only be used under medical supervision. Don't just guess the dose.
Okay, duly noted. Next up, magnesium, often called the calming mineral. I understand it plays a huge role, like involved in over 300 processes in the body, many related to nerves and relaxation.
That's right. It's incredibly versatile. And deficiency often contributes to things like irritability, restlessness, poor sleep, maybe heightened anxiety, all things that can really worsen ADHD symptoms.
So supplementing can help calm things down.
Precisely why it's so valuable for some people. Using well-absorbed forms like magnesium glycinate or citrate can significantly improve sleep quality. It can also help reduce hyperactivity and assist with emotional regulation. So this makes magnesium particularly useful for those who struggle with insomnia or mood swings alongside their attention difficulties. It helps sort of calm that fight or flight response in the brain.
Interesting. Okay, and finally, iron. You called it the dopamine booster. It's critical for producing both dopamine and norepinephrine, another key neurotransmitter. And research shows kids with ADHD often have low ferritin. That's the stored iron marker.
Yes, that's a consistent finding. Low ferritin is strongly associated with more severe ADHD symptoms. Some studies even show that correcting these low iron levels can lead to better attention, improved executive function, and even healthier sleep patterns.
I sense a caution coming.
Yes. This brings us to a very, very important point. Unlike the other minerals we've discussed, iron must be approached with significant caution. Excessive iron intake is toxic. It can actually damage organs, which is why iron supplementation should only ever be started under professional medical guidance and after testing confirms a deficiency. It's definitely not one to self-prescribe or guess with.
Got it. A very clear warning there. It really highlights how these individual minerals aren't just, isolated helpers, but they're truly foundational for the brain's whole operating system, doesn't it?
They absolutely are. They're kind of like the unsung heroes working behind the scenes, making sure all those complex brain processes can run smoothly.
Okay. Now, beyond the minerals, let's explore some key vitamins and maybe a few interesting herbal compounds that offer additional support. First up, B vitamins. You describe them as the brain spark plugs, which I like.
Ah, yes.
So this family, B2, B6, B9, folate, B12, they're crucial for making neurotransmitters, right?
Yeah.
Serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine.
Correct. And they're also absolutely key for energy metabolism in the brain, helping to convert food into usable energy, which can reduce fatigue and that feeling of brain fog.
Which are common complaints with ADHD.
Very common. So deficiencies in B vitamins can certainly lead to irritability, poor concentration, or just low energy levels. Ensuring adequate intake, maybe through a good B-complex supplement, or just a diet rich in things like leafy greens, whole grains, legumes, eggs, can provide steady support for cognitive and emotional health.
Right, fundamental building blocks. Then there's vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, important for mood, focus, immune function.
Yes, and research pretty consistently shows that people with ADHD are more likely to have low vitamin D levels, especially, in winter or in less sunny climates.
And supplementing can help.
It seems so. It can potentially help improve emotional stability and support better focus and learning. However, like iron, too much vitamin D can also cause health issues, hypercalcemia, for instance. So again, a simple blood test is always the best approach before starting supplementation. Know your baseline, determine the right dose.
Testing seems to be a recurring theme here.
It's crucial for safety and effectiveness with many of these.
Okay. And lastly, a really fascinating and diverse category, herbal and natural compounds.
Yeah, this is where we see some really interesting complementary approaches. For instance, L-theanine. It's an amino acid found in green tea. It's particularly interesting because it seems to promote a state of calm alertness. It helps increase alpha brain waves, kind of like what happens during meditation.
Calm alertness. Sounds ideal.
Right. And when you pair it with caffeine, say from the tea itself, it can actually reduce the jitters some people get from caffeine while still enhancing focus and attention.
Interesting synergy.
Very much so. Then there's Bacopa Monnieri. This is a traditional Ayurvedic herb used for centuries for cognitive enhancement. Modern studies are looking into its role in improving memory, processing speed, and sustained attention. This seems to be due to its active compounds called becosides. It's one that works more gradually, though. Results usually take several weeks, maybe a couple of months, to become noticeable. Patience is key.
Good to know. Any others worth mentioning briefly?
Well, we could go on, but maybe two more quick ones. Ginkgo Biloba. It's known to increase blood flow to the brain, which could potentially support mental clarity and concentration. And melatonin. This can be invaluable for people struggling with sleep disorders, which are really common alongside ADHD. It helps reset the sleep-wake cycle. And getting better sleep indirectly improves daytime functioning, focus, and mood significantly.
Makes sense. Better sleep helps everything. Okay, right. Diving in deeper now. We absolutely need to talk about some crucial considerations. It's really important to remember, isn't it, that supplements aren't a standalone cure for ADHD. They seem like powerful allies, but they work best as part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. A comprehensive plan that might include behavioral therapy, structured routines, lifestyle adjustments like diet and exercise, and yes, sometimes prescribed medication. Supplements fit within that plan. And to make sure they're used safely and effectively, we really need to keep three key principles in mind.
Okay, what are they?
First, and this is non-negotiable, consult a healthcare provider first. Always. Every individual's needs are different. Medical guidance helps prevent overdosing or, importantly, harmful interactions with any existing medications you might be taking.
Right. Don't just add things in without checking.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Second, choose quality over quantity. Look for reputable brands, ideally those that are third-party tested. This testing guarantees purity and accuracy in labeling. It's crucial for avoiding contaminants like heavy metals or fillers, which unfortunately can be an issue in the supplement industry.
Good advice. And the third principle?
Monitor closely. Once you start a supplement, keep track of any changes, good or bad. Note changes in mood, sleep, digestion, focus, behavior. And if any negative effects occur, stop taking it and consult your doctor immediately.
Okay, so consult, quality, monitor. Got it. And what's truly essential here, you've touched on this, is understanding that personalization is key, right? No two people with ADHD are the same.
Exactly. What works wonders for one person might do very little for another. A one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work well with supplements for ADHD. A personalized plan is far more likely to be successful.
So how does someone get that personalized plan? What's the process?
Well, ideally, the personalized process for you should look something like this. First, start with testing. Ask your healthcare provider to check your blood levels for those key nutrients we talked about: iron, specifically ferritin, zinc, vitamin D, magnesium. This way you're targeting real, documented deficiencies, not just guessing.
Makes sense. Data-driven.
Precisely. Then supplement with precision. Only add what's actually missing or low based on those tests. If your iron levels are perfectly normal, there's absolutely no reason, and potentially some risk, in taking extra iron. And finally, adjust as needed. Your nutrient needs aren't static. They can change with age, growth spurts in kids, lifestyle changes, diet shifts. So regular check-ins with your doctor help ensure the plan stays safe and effective over time. This personalization is really the difference between just randomly taking supplements and using them strategically.
That's very clear. Okay, so a big question many listeners probably have right now is, given all these potential benefits, can supplements actually replace traditional ADHD medication, like stimulants?
Yes. That's a very common and really important question. The straightforward answer is, in most cases, supplements are not a direct substitute for medication. Why? Well, stimulant medications like Ritalin or Adderall, they work pretty quickly, often within hours. They do this by rapidly boosting levels of dopamine and norepinephrine in the brain synapses. Supplements simply cannot replicate that rapid, potent effect.
Okay, so they work differently.
Very differently. Supplements work much more gradually. They work by addressing those underlying nutritional imbalances or supporting brain pathways that may be contributing to or worsening ADHD symptoms. For example, omega-3s strengthen brain signaling over weeks. Magnesium improves sleep and calmness over weeks. Zinc supports dopamine production over time. So these improvements, they build up. They can support overall brain health, maybe reduce symptom severity somewhat, enhance focus, sleep, emotional regulation, but it's a slower, more foundational process.
So maybe for milder forms of ADHD, supplements plus lifestyle changes might be enough.
Possibly, yes. For some individuals with milder symptoms, a combination of targeted supplements and strong lifestyle strategies, diet, exercise, therapy, coaching, might be sufficient. But for many others, especially those with moderate to severe ADHD, combining supplements with standard treatments like medication and therapy often yields the most effective and comprehensive results. They can work well together.
That makes sense. It's about finding the right combination for the individual. Now, what about kids? Parents often feel cautious, and probably rightly so, about giving supplements to children. Are they generally safe for kids with ADHD?
It's a very valid concern. The good news is that many of the commonly used supplements we've discussed, like omega-3s, magnesium, most B vitamins, even zinc in the right amounts, are generally considered safe for children when used in appropriate age-specific doses.
But there are caveats, like with the minerals.
Yes. The biggest concerns, as we highlighted earlier, arise with minerals like iron and zinc. These can be toxic at high levels if overused, and children are more sensitive. So, to avoid any risks, the rules are even more important for children. Always consult a pediatrician or qualified healthcare provider before starting any supplements. Strictly adhere to the recommended age-appropriate dosages. Don't exceed them. And always choose high-quality, safety-tested brands specifically formulated for children if possible. When used responsibly and under guidance, supplements can provide gentle yet potentially effective support for children struggling with attention, impulsivity, or mood regulation.
Okay, that's reassuring, but with clear guidelines. Now, one of the most important differences we touched on between supplements and medication is timing. Medications often show results fast, within hours sometimes. Supplements take longer. Why is that again?
Right, it's because they work fundamentally differently. Medications directly manipulate neurotransmitter levels, giving that quick boost. Supplements work by gradually correcting underlying physiological imbalances or supporting cellular processes. It takes time to, say, build up omega-3 levels in cell membranes, or replenish low magnesium stores, or restore iron levels. It's not a quick fix. It's more like nurturing the system back into balance.
So patience is required. How long are we typically talking?
You definitely need patience and consistency. It varies by supplement. For omega-3 fatty acids, you're generally looking at 6 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use before improvements in focus, attention, or behavior become noticeable.
Okay, a couple of months.
Yeah. Magnesium often shows benefits more quickly, maybe within 2 to 3 weeks, especially for things like sleep problems or high irritability. Iron and zinc, because they involve restoring body stores, can take several weeks to months to see the full effects reflected in symptoms. You need to build those levels back up. And those herbal compounds, like Bacopa Monnieri or Ginkgo Biloba, they usually require around 8 to 12 weeks of daily use to produce measurable cognitive effects.
So it's a commitment.
It is. And tracking small changes in a journal can be incredibly helpful for you, the listener. It helps you recognize those gradual improvements that might otherwise go unnoticed day to day. You might not see a huge shift overnight, but you might notice slightly better sleep or a bit less irritability over a few weeks.
That's a great practical tip. Okay, well, we've covered a lot today. And I think what's really clear is that while supplements are definitely not a standalone cure for ADHD, they really can play a potentially powerful and supportive role, helping to enhance focus, mood, sleep, and just overall brain health.
Absolutely. Stepping back, what this all points to, I think, is that when they're used wisely, meaning safely, targetedly, and combined with a balanced diet, healthy routines, maybe other therapies, and definitely professional guidance, the right nutrients can indeed make a real tangible difference in daily life for both children and adults managing ADHD. It really is about empowering your brain from within.
Wonderfully put. So as you, our listener, reflect on this deep dive, perhaps consider this. If our brains are constantly adapting and responding to what we feed them, nutritionally and otherwise, what small, consistent nutritional step could you perhaps explore under guidance to subtly shift your own focus, mood, or sleep, knowing that even those tiny ripples, practiced consistently, can sometimes create significant waves over time?
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.